Having a solid study plan for the GRE is crucial. So let's talk about a few steps for creating that perfect study plan. Step 1, take a practice test. The GRE has 2 free practice tests available online, and taking one of those is going to give you a baseline understanding of where you are so far and what you need to work on. That leads us really nicely into step 2. Analyze your results. On the verbal section, pay attention to how many questions dealing with vocabulary you missed. These are the questions that are the sort of fill in the blank, text completion, sentence equivalence. How many of those did you get wrong? And then look at how many of the reading comprehension questions you got wrong. You're going to start, by doing this, start to have an understanding of, okay, vocab is my weakness, reading is my weakness, maybe both, maybe something in the middle. And that can give you a baseline to know what to focus on as you move forward with your study plan. For quant, pay attention to how many questions you missed in the 4 categories tested by the GRE. This is arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data. Okay, moving on to step 3, make a plan. Let's start with your verbal plan. This plan should include the list of vocab words you're going to study, a plan to start reading some high-level nonfiction articles. Make this a daily or weekly habit. You can find good articles in The Economist or The Atlantic. And when you're reading these daily as you study, you're also going to practice active reading, where as you read, you're asking yourself questions about the things you're reading as you go, trying to pinpoint what's the main idea, why is the author writing this, what are they trying to say. Finally, for verbal, you want to make sure that you're doing all of the practice problems in the official guide and always reviewing every mistake you make really carefully and understanding what the mistake was and how to do that problem correctly. Next, for the quant section, the first step is going to be making sure you have a solid handle on all of the concepts tested by the GRE, those 4 that I mentioned earlier. The best way to do this is to use the information you got from doing that practice test in combination with a PDF that the GRE puts out with all the math concepts tested. I'll link that in the description below. When you look at this PDF, you're going to want to go through each of the concepts and make sure you understand them. The questions they have in that PDF are not at all at the level of the GRE, but this is all foundational to the questions that will be tested on the test. So as you go through there, rank for yourself each of the concepts tested and how weak you feel at them. The things you feel weakest at, you should focus on more and have those come at the beginning of your study plan. And perhaps you'll even look into watching videos about those concepts, finding other places to do practice to really solidify those concepts in your mind before you then move on to doing all of the official GRE math problems. Now, these problems, what you'll start to notice as you're doing this practice is that most GRE problems actually combine multiple concepts into one problem. So you'll familiarize yourself with the way the GRE asks questions about the different math concepts and how they combine those concepts into one. And don't forget about the writing section in your plan. One thing that's really helpful is to read the examples of high-scoring essays that the GRE provides. They have this on their website as well as in the official guide. So read that, get a sense of what type of essay scores a 6 and what type of essay scores a 5. Those examples can be really useful. And then you're going to want to schedule once or twice a week time to write outlines for the different essays. The GRE provides on their website every single possible prompt that could be on the test for both of the essays. And so this is really useful because you can go there, choose a random prompt, and write an outline once or twice a week to get in the habit of thinking in that mindset, in the way those essay questions are going to be asked. And finally, that brings us to the last step, step 4, have the right resources. I've been mentioning official GRE guide over and over in this video and the PDF of math stuff from the GRE. The reason is using official GRE resources is going to get you the closest to understanding what the questions on the test will really feel like. And so I definitely recommend official resources only. There are 2 free practice tests, as I mentioned. There are 3 books, the official guide, and 2 workbooks that you can get with it. And then there are also 3 practice tests in addition to those free ones that you can pay for online. And these are each $39.95, so it's a little bit pricey, but they are definitely worth it because the 2 free ones are not quite as hard as the test itself, but those 3 paid ones are definitely more difficult. And so it's a good idea to challenge yourself and make sure you have an understanding of what it will feel like to see those really hard problems and not let yourself get flustered, but still be able to move forward in the test and get the best score that you can. So that's it for how to set up a solid study plan. Good luck!